Welcome to this short Microsoft video on the future of productivity. My name is Simon May and I'm a Microsoft Cloud Evangelist. Today I'm going to take you through what we see as the future of productivity. Quite literally a vision of the next few years around people being able to do things within organisations. We're going to have a look at some of the key trends in the marketplace right now and how Microsoft is responding to those trends. And we're also going to take a look at some of the products that can help people to become more productive. For a start, those trends. We're seeing that the consumerisation of IT is one of the biggest drivers. 95% of people expect to be able to take a device that they've bought themselves and use it in the workplace. We see that multi-generational workforces are becoming a reality. There's many more people of very, very differing ages entering the workplace. And that means that people want to be able to work in mobile and distributed ways. They want to be able to work on their own terms. We also see infrastructure cost and complexity hitting some really big levels. For example, 70% of IT budgets are actually spent purely on maintaining infrastructure. And the cloud is also ever present. The consumerisation of IT, to look at some of these trends in more detail, is affecting many organisations. In fact, we see that around 65% of organisations are looking at deploying some kind of social environment for people to collaborate and share information within their organisation. We need to be able to provide applications anywhere for employees, and yet we also need the organisation to be able to maintain control over their data. Infrastructure cost and complexity has been growing for a very, very long time. And not only do we see that 70% of budgets are being spent on maintaining pretty inflexible infrastructures, we also see that the amount of data that organisations are maintaining is growing faster than the IT employees that are available to look after that data. So we need to be able to free up that IT resource to work on more strategic projects. The cloud is one of the ways that we can enable a better way of working, a better productivity environment. But we have to be careful. We see that with cloud providers, people are worried about what's going to happen to their data. And we see that people are really, really concerned that the people that they're saving their data with are going to be using it to make money themselves, so selling on that data. And that's something that Microsoft absolutely does not do. You need to focus on building the right tools for businesses, but they have to have the minimal concern for the underlying infrastructure. That's one of the ways to make a more effective and flexible IT infrastructure. The mobile and distributed workforce is changing the way that people work. 3 out of 5 people expect to be as productive at home as they are when they're in the office. We need to be able to empower employees to be efficient and productive wherever they are. The multi-generational workforce is seeing more people of very different ages enter the workplace. For example, right now, there's 1 baby boomer for every 4 millennials that are in the workplace, and that's only going to increase over time. That means that people are going to expect particular ways of working. They're going to expect to be able to be social. They're going to expect to be able to work in mobile and distributed ways. We need to empower all of those diverse work styles so that people can actually harness the organisation's information and use it to develop business interests. The way that we see this happening is through better productivity, and it needs to be on the terms of the organisation that's using that productivity suite. Microsoft is committed to providing the best productivity experience across a range of devices, so however your organisation needs to be able to work. Obviously that means that we'll have the best productivity experience on the PC, but it also means that we'll have the best productivity experience on phones and within the browser. And it doesn't matter which browser or which mobile phone platform. On the PC, this surfaces itself in ways such as being able to save directly to SharePoint, which obviously with a service like Office 365, which we'll come on to soon, means saving directly to the cloud. It also means that, say I'm working in PowerPoint and I want to be able to use a video from the web. But maybe not all of that video. Maybe I just want to be able to show my audience the poignant points. I can take that video directly into PowerPoint, trim it down, and just highlight what I need to. And that means that I don't have to go to a third-party editing suite in order to be able to do that work. I can do it directly from within PowerPoint, which simplifies the workflow for the end user. On the phone, we have a great productivity experience, particularly if I look at Windows Phone, where I can go into my SharePoint site, open up an Excel document, which may have some sales data in there, edit that data, and then send it off to a customer. That's the kind of experience that people expect to be able to have today on their mobile device. And if I even look at the iPhone, we have OneNote for iPhone available, so people can go in and edit their notes directly on their iPhone. Providing the best productivity experience across a range of browsers is incredibly important. And that means being able to do the right thing in the browser, and also to be able to do the right thing when you need a full version of the Office suite. So, for example, if I need to do very complicated maths within Excel, that's better placed on the PC than it is within the browser. However, if I need to just do a quick edit, then that's the kind of place for a browser-based application. If we look at the Office 365 suite, which is Microsoft's cloud-based version of our productivity suite, then we can see lots of names that are very familiar to us. The first of which is Exchange Online. Exchange Online is our email system. It's how you send emails to different people inside and outside of your organisation. SharePoint is there for collaboration, and SharePoint Online, again, is run by Microsoft from the Microsoft data centres, just as with all of the rest of this suite. Lync Online is unified communications. It allows me to have a telephone call with somebody else within my organisation, or maybe have a video call, or send them an instant message, or collaborate on a document at the same time, maybe using a whiteboard. As part of Office 365 as well, users can also take the Office 2010 Professional Plus suite of applications. That means that they have the rights to install those applications onto their own PCs, so they get all of the power of the world's best productivity suite. People are always concerned about using cloud-based services. Office 365 is secure. It runs out of Microsoft's very secure data centers all over the world. We have lots of accreditations around security and around auditing, but we also offer a 99.9% financially backed guarantee, which means that if we don't meet the SLA, we will give you money back. Lots of other productivity organisations don't do that. They actually require you to spend more time with their services that aren't meeting your needs. Office 365 also keeps you in control of your data, and it does that by integrating with Active Directory using something called Active Directory Federation Services. That allows me to extend my on-premises Active Directory into the cloud. So I can, for example, create a group purely on my Active Directory locally and add users into that group. That then gives them access to a particular SharePoint site automatically. Overall, that delivers a simplified management experience, which reduces the total cost of ownership of a solution like Office 365, but also, from an IT point of view, it makes it far easier to work with the solution. Office 365 can be extended, so people can add more functionality into their Office 365 environment. We have third-party vendors making those applications available through the Office 365 marketplace, and also through applications such as Windows Azure. Because of the way that we've built Office 365, it allows you to work in a hybrid way. So that means you can take your existing on-premises environment and connect it into Office 365. That can be done through Active Directory, but also through rich coexistence with Exchange. So I can, for example, have my on-premises users using the cloud as their archiving mechanism. I can also have some people having their inbox in the cloud, and some people within my organisation maintaining their inbox on an Exchange server on premises. The licensing for Office 365 simplifies that process even further, and I can, for example, take the Lync licensing and use that against a link on-premises server. Everybody gets the same level of service with Office 365, and that's always enterprise grade. There's a dashboard that anybody can use to see the availability of the various parts of the service over the past week. And also with Microsoft, you get the advantage of our partner ecosystem. That means that we can point you to a partner who is always able to install Office 365 for your organisation in exactly the right way. They can help you with all of the integration work that you might need, and they can help you to get started. They can also help with ongoing management and maintenance, should that be what you need. We like to think that there's an Office 365 for everyone. And the reason that we do that is because the licensing is incredibly flexible. It allows you to select different licenses for different parts of your organisation. So for example, you may have back office workers who need access to the whole of the Office 365 suite. Those guys might be doing things such as creating deep and detailed BI, which is then needed to be surfaced to your workforce that are maybe working in a warehouse. Those warehouse workers obviously don't need as deep information as the back office workers, but they do need to be able to surface that information. So the back office workers publish to SharePoint, and the front office workers consume that information from SharePoint. That allows you to have different levels of licensing for different people. We believe that this is all the cloud on your terms. You can select your licensing requirements, you can select your deployment method, you can deploy on-premises, in the cloud, or a mixture of both. And in some cases you might also go to a third-party hoster in order to provide part of your solution. So this deployment mechanism allows you to select exactly what you need to do. You can deploy in a traditional environment, you can deploy to a third-party hoster, to a private cloud, and also to the public cloud. Active Directory allows you to maintain access and control across that entire platform. And using System Center, and also using Visual Studio and .NET, you can build on that environment to create whatever you need to. Thank you very much for watching.